So about 90 minutes after we dropped the video yesterday talking about our Baltimore Ravens and how Kyle Vanoy was not expected to play, the Baltimore Ravens made some expected roster moves, but then they hit us with a surprise that I ain't see coming. So the Baltimore Ravens announced that they placed tight end Charlie Kolar and defensive back Arthur Millette on injury reserve. We have also elevated defensive end Chris Wormley and linebacker William Quinku from the practice squad ahead of tomorrow's game. So with Charlie Kolar, no surprise there because it was expected that he's going to miss the next month with a broken arm, at least the next month. And then with Arthur Millette, that was a bit of a surprise there because Harbaugh did say, no, we don't expect Arthur Millette to go on injury reserve. So I guess maybe something happened. Maybe, I don't know if he had a setback or maybe they were just like, you know what? We could really use the roster spot right now, so I'm not sure what the issue is with that. I guess we'll find out more from Harbaugh on Monday before the bye week. With Chris Wormley and linebacker William Quinku, Ravens need depth, especially along the defensive line, because of this move that I did not see coming. Well, I actually did see it coming, but the Ravens just ain't do it. And they did not activate Michael Pierce. So Michael Pierce will not be playing in this game, surprisingly. I thought for sure with Michael Pierce being back, and I talked about this week, like, oh my goodness, the timing is perfect because Travis Jones, is rough, is banged up, and he is such a big part of this defense, Travis Jones is, and he helps out literally everybody around him because he makes Matabike that much better. Matabike would make the linebackers and the defensive backs job that much easier if he's getting to the quarterback. Travis Jones has such a big impact on everybody. But I thought that Michael Pierce was going to be good to go, but the Ravens said, nope, not yet. It ain't going down yet. And Jeff Zrebiec, he mentioned, like, with Millette and Kolar, them going on injury reserve, that they'll be out until at least the regular season finale. So that's when they'll be eligible to return for the last game of the season against the Cleveland Browns. But with Mike Pierce not playing yet, that's really big because he would have helped out a lot. But the guys that the Ravens got, they just got to get the job done. Now we reached my favorite part of these videos where we get to feature your questions. If you would ever like to be part of it, you can send me an email to teamkeepitclean@gmail.com. Or if you're a Team Keep It Clean patron, you can send me a DM directly on Patreon. If you would like to join it, you can go to patreon.com/Ingravenvids. Or if you want to be even more unique, you can send your question to our P.O. Box. And speaking of mailing stuff, if you or anybody that you know, because we have like a surplus of size 1 diapers. I know this is super, super random. I get it. But if you or anybody you know needs some extra diapers, size 1, please let me know. Send me a DM on Twitter and please let me know because we have like a lot of extra ones that we didn't end up using. Now, there's some packs that are unopened and there's some that have been opened but obviously not used, but we got a lot. So I'm looking to send those out pretty soon. So if you or anybody else needs diapers size 1, please let us know. Send me a DM on Twitter. Now, back to our regularly scheduled programming. Our first question came from a Team Keep It Clean patron, my guy, David. He said, hey, Ingraven, I'm watching a video right now while I read that the Commanders waived Emmanuel Forbes. Okay, so you can see where this is going with David. He said, I feel like this is someone I'd love to see the Ravens add to the practice squad. I haven't seen much film from him this year, but I remember he was a ball hog type of guy in college, and it could end up being a low-risk EDC pickup in the making. Thanks for all that you do. No, thank you for everything that you do and for you even bringing this up in the first place. And yeah, man, that could be, so I wouldn't mind practice squad, like, what's the worst that could happen? It doesn't work out. He's on a practice squad. So they could bring in somebody like, and it's super low risk. Like you mentioned, it's super, super low risk. And also, this other part of the question came from my guy, Tyreke. He said, Forbes to the Ravens? He said, hey, Ingraven, love the channel. Been watching for almost 3 years now. Oh, wait, that's a long time. Thank you, man. He said, the Commanders just released their former first-round corner, Emmanuel Forbes. Seeing how bad Stevens has been struggling this year, I think this would be the perfect move for the Ravens to acquire Forbes. Let me know your thoughts. Like Lamar and all the Ravens in the Pro Bowl, I'm out because we're going to be in the Super Bowl and win it. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Now, you're not bringing him on as no starter. You're not bringing him on to replace Brandon Stevens. Oh, no. You're not doing that at all. My guy David, like he mentioned, practice squad. You will not bring him in to be like, all right, that's going to be the guy that replaces Brandon Stevens. Whether this year or even possibly next year. Like, if you bring him onto the practice squad, super, super low risk. And the way that I think about what's the worst that could happen, if it doesn't work out, okay, you just move on. And you cut your ties, cut your losses. Even though you didn't lose, you wouldn't lose anything from signing to the practice squad. And that would be that. If the Baltimore Ravens could bring him on, like you think about, and it's different players, different type of cornerbacks and whatnot. But you look at Tre'Davious White. Tre'Davious White was left for dead over with the Rams. Ravens brought him in. Boom. Look at that. Look how he's been performing. We over here saying, hey, he needs to be a starter because he's been shining when he plays. You think about Desmond King. We'll see what happens with him. But he's just been out there as a free agent. Ravens say, oh, okay, cool, we'll sign to the practice squad. We'll see how that goes. So it could be the same type of scenario within Emmanuel Forbes. Super, super, super low risk and high potential. And the worst case scenario, if it doesn't work out, oh well. Next question came from my guy Marcelo. He said, hey, Ingraven, quick question. Coming on after week 12, what do you grade the Ravens rookies this year? From the first round to the fourth round, what could the Ravens have picked? Who would have been better? Send us support from Mexico. Thank you for your time. Appreciate it, Marcelo. Thank you. The Ravens draft picks. Now, you can't leave out the other rounds. You got to include everything in this one. So I would say overall, though, there's been a lack of impact. Overall, obviously, Nate Wiggins' first round pick. He's been out there playing a lot. Good job. Roger Rosengarten, second round pick. He's been out there playing a lot. Good job. Third round pick, Adisa Isaac. I didn't even realize he was a third round. I was thinking he was a fourth round pick, but Adisa Isaac just started playing like a couple weeks ago. Just started playing. We know he had the hamstring injuries in the offseason, but he recovered from that, but he just had not been active. He'd been inactive every single week. So there was a lack of impact there. Devontae Walker. He was another person that was inactive every single week, all up until about a month ago, maybe a month and change. But he been active, but he's just strictly been special teams, and that's it. And from what we had all heard or really not heard about him in a training camp and offseason and whatnot, he just wasn't making an impact. And Ravens feel like he's not ready yet. TJ Tampa, he's been hurt. He was active a little bit early on, then he got hurt. He was on injured reserve, just got activated from injured reserve, designated to return. So he'll be back very, very soon. But again, lack of impact. He hasn't really been playing. Then there's Rasheen Ali, fifth round draft pick, the running back. He had been inactive. He had been on injured reserve. Then they brought him back, and so he hasn't played. So lack of impact there. Round 6, their sixth round pick, Devin Leary, the quarterback. This pick was, I don't want to call it a wash for the Ravens, but it just seemed like they were like, all right, whatever, just pick somebody, whatever. It is what it is. I'm still not sure what direction they were going with that pick. Maybe for a future backup quarterback, maybe, but I don't know. Anyway, round 7, Nick Samek, backup center for the Baltimore Ravens. He's been active for the most part on game day, but he's a backup center, so we can't expect him to play because he's to back up Tyler Linderbaum. Linderbaum ain't going nowhere. Linderbaum's pretty much healthy all the time, so he plays, so Nick Samek does not. So no problem with that one. And then Sanusi Kane. I was surprised that he even made the roster, but he has been playing. He's been mainly a special teamer. He hasn't been playing on defense, but he got like a million people ahead of him at the safety position, so we can understand why, but he's been a special teamer. So overall, when you look at this draft class, minus Nate Wiggins and Roger Rosengarten, there's been a big lack of impact. Because, again, Adisa Isaac, Tez Walker, TJ Tampa, Rasheen Ali, Devin Leary. I don't count Nick Samek. And with Sanusi Kane, there's an asterisk with him as well because there's so many safeties ahead of him. But overall, it's just been a lack of impact. Oh, but he also did ask, what could the Ravens have picked? Who would have been better? I think with... it's just really about playing time, man. It's about playing time. It's about them being a benefit to the team, and just guys that can be impact players, like right away. And I get it, like not every single draft pick is gonna play right away. Not every single draft pick is gonna make this crazy impact right away. So I get that, and it's hard to judge a draft class in the first year. You can't properly judge them all the way. So we'll see how things develop over the next couple of years because, again, you can't you can't judge a draft class in its first year in their rookie season alone because it's their rookie season. So it takes some time. It takes adjustments and whatnot, adjusting to life in the NFL. So I get that, and I respect that. So I'm not saying that, all these picks are waste, all these guys are bad. No. We're not saying that. But I was saying it's just been a lack of impact from these guys overall thus far. Obviously, the top two, they've been doing their thing, but the rest of them hasn't really been much. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Because Tez Walker, next year will be a big opportunity from him. Tylan Wallace, free agent. Nelson Aguilar, free agent. So the wide receiver room could look a lot. Deontay Hardy, he'll be going too. I mean, he's pretty much already going now. It ain't work out with him. They put him on injury reserve, and who knows if they'll designate him to return. But yeah, Tez Walker could possibly have an impact next year with the wide receiver room changing. Adisa Isaac, with Kyle Vanoy, we'll see what happens with him next year. No, well, they signed him to a 2-year deal, but you know how them things go to a 2-year deal because you know how they go. Anyway, so maybe and he got some people ahead of him, like obviously Adafe Wade, Kyle Vanoy as pass rushers, but he don't even got. I can't even say he got David Ajabo ahead of him because he doesn't. David Ajabo been inactive now. It's like they flipped. With TJ Tampa, the cornerback room, Arthur Millette is signed. Is he signed to a 1-year or 2-year deal? I forget, but. Nate Wiggins, Marlon Humphrey, Brandon Stevens will be going, so there'll be a cornerback spot up for grabs. We'll see what happens with Tre'Davious White. So there's a possibility there for him to enter into the cornerback mix. Rasheen Ali, with him, I know I said lack of impact, but with him, they got Derrick Henry and they got Justice Hill. And Keaton Mitchell just got back, even though Keaton Mitchell had been out for a while, and Rasheen Ali still, there was lack of impact. But then you look at Keaton Mitchell now as a third running back, and there's been a lack of impact from him because he just hasn't been getting the snaps, which is understandable because they got Derrick Henry, Justice Hill. Those two been doing their thing. So I can't hold it against Rasheen Ali that there's been a lack of impact there. But it is what it is. With Devin Leary, like I told you, that pick was a big head scratcher. With Nick Samak, he can't do nothing. He's a backup center like we talked about. And with Sanusi Kane, he's a backup safety because there's so many safeties in front of him. So with the Ravens, this draft, as every draft is, it wasn't just a draft for now, but it's also a draft for the future. And like I said, that's when we'll properly be able to judge it a couple years into the future.